This is my villager farm. Yeah, just a hole in the ground. This is about to change though, because we are going to build this massive cyberpunk city with insane details and a place for every villager that we could ever need. It's gonna be sick. And we're building it right here. This is going to be a huge structure. So to make it more manageable, we're going to break this down into 3 phases. The first phase being designing. And to be completely honest with you, I have no clue where to start with this. I guess I'm just not creative enough. So I'm going to need some inspiration for this. I've been doing a lot of browsing on Pinterest to try and get some inspiration, but just nothing's really been clicking for me, you know? So I've been thinking, what better way to get inspiration for a cyberpunk city than a cyberpunk city? I walked around Cyberpunk 2077, taking in all the views and checking out some cool places within the city. Whenever I found something I liked, I marked it down or took a screenshot, and after a couple of hours of walking around, dude, this looks insane. I had enough inspiration to do some rough sketches for what our build could look like, and we're left with this interesting looking thing. We now have our rough design. Time to build our structure. Wrong. I don't know how to build Cyberpunk. See this? This took me 3 hours, and it looks actually pretty good, especially this little thing down here. This looks awesome, but we're going to need this 100 times bigger, and I don't think I'm able to do that. I don't know what I'm gonna do. Wait, what the? Hello?
Did someone say cyberpunk?
I think maybe like a few sentences ago. Who is this?
Ah, fine. All right, I'll help you since you asked.
Dude, what? I never said.
All right, let's get started.
What? In case you didn't know, this is Taco Squad. He is an absolute pro with Cyberpunk, and without him, this project may have not happened. All I did was send this guy my references, and he took off building. He had all of the rough shaping done within a single day before moving on to the texturing. The attention to detail throughout the entire build was just insane. He was using blocks that I could never even think of using, like these muddy roots right here. Then I remembered I need to get all this in survival, which sent me into a bit of a spiral. But when I got done crying to myself, the build was finished. Wow, dude, this looks great. How did you get so good at Cyberpunk?
It's all I do. Day in, day out, it's Cyberpunk. I wake up and it's there. It's like I can't escape it.
Wow, cool. Anyway, thanks for all the help, man.
Yeah, man. Wait, I'm getting paid for this, right?
This is a pretty cool build.
Ludo, you said I was gonna get paid.
Alright, let's have a quick look at our block list. So, we have a lot of work to do. So that brings us on to phase 2, collecting. The very first block in our list is mangrove wood, and a lot of it. But mangrove is notoriously known for being annoying to collect, and farms are complicated. So I'm going to set a 30-minute timer and see how much mangrove wood I can collect before I decide if I want to build a farm or not. After our 30-minute shopping session, this is what we are left with. I have done a good amount of research on mangrove farms, but to be honest with you, with the amount of time it's going to take to collect all the blocks and then actually build the farm and then AFK, it's not going to be a whole lot faster than this. So running the numbers here, this should take about 4 hours of chopping mangrove trees. I now had a mission. I had to collect 12,000 mangrove planks and 5,000 stripped wood by hand. So I booted up my live stream and I mangroved. Don't forget to mine some mangrove. You actually might be onto something. Wait, we should get some mangrove, shouldn't we? What do you do when not playing Minecraft? Is there such a thing? Mine's mangrove, yeah. That's what I do in my spare time. Off camera, I just mine mangrove. Hey, so remember that idiot that said this entire process would take 4 hours? Yeah, it took 7. 7 hours of this. So that right there is 7 shulker boxes full of planks. And then we have 3 shulker boxes of stripped wood, and then all the other mangrove bits and pieces that we need. But that was just the first block type that we need for this ridiculous project. So let's move on to the next large amount of blocks that we need, which is 10,000 nether bricks. There's no real easy way to do this, so let's grab our beacon, place it down in the nether. Wait, why is nothing happening? Oh, yeah, I need to get rid of the roof, don't I? Let's grab some netherrack to pile up with. Oh, wait, quartz is a part of our block list, I'm pretty sure. Yoink. We're gonna mine this out to the bedrock layer, and boom, beacon's working. And now, let's make this fortress non-exist anymore. This isn't as fast as I thought it would be. Okay, I've discovered this strategy that I'm 100% positive everybody but me knows. If I mine a block just on the edge of the hit block, it like sort of insta-mines. It's a little faster, I think. Am I just coping? Alright, let's mine some blocks. Wait, hold up. Mining those quartz 21 seconds ago, low-key just gave me an idea. What if we get all the nether blocks while we're here, so we don't have to come back later? I'm a genius. Yo, what is that guy doing? I'm gonna grab up a load of this black stone and make up all the variants that we need. And then we're going to need to grab a whole load of basalt, some crimson wood, shroom lights, soul sand, and lastly, the stripped stem, the warped, the blue nether tree. We got some blue nether tree. The issue isn't even that it's over 100k blocks. It's the insane variety of blocks that's the issue. Like, look at this. Anyway, moving on. I grabbed my beacon and started tearing down this mesa biome so we can make up all of our different terracottas before backflipping underground to get all of the deep slate. Damn, why does deep slate take so long to mine? We also need some deep slate iron ore. Using an ore block for a build is actually insane, but oh well. And I mean, while I'm here, I might as well get all the stone blocks. Like andesite, diorite, smooth stone, cobblestone so we can make some mossy cobble. Does tough count as a stone block? Ah, we'll get it anyway. Remember the muddy mangrove roots I was talking about earlier? Well, let's get mud. And the roots too, and then convert some of our mud into packed mud. Next is all of our wood blocks like spruce, oak, a lot of dark oak apparently, cherry wood, acacia, which I actually found is easier by just making these villagers homeless, birch, pale oak, all the stripped versions, you get the idea. With all the blocks that we've gotten so far, we are around 40% done, so I'm just gonna have to lock in on this. I stuck on a movie and put in the hours, collecting block after block, crafted item after item. What's that? Your movie's done and it's already been 3 hours? Too bad. Back to collecting. As the light outside slowly faded and the time started getting pretty late, I collected the last few blocks that I needed. Except I didn't. The last couple of blocks that we need in what I have started to call the multi-stack items is calcite, which we can get from the side of this mountain, brown mushroom blocks and mushroom stems, which we can get from the dark oak forest. Probably should have gotten these earlier, actually. A load of copper, which we can get by digging into a troll chamber, fighting for my life, and then alt F4ing the entire structure. I could then place some of our trapdoors down here to oxidize and start stripping down and waxing our different copper blocks. 400 lodestones. Wait, lodestones? What? Oh, wait, we can craft these with iron now, can't we? Okay, that's fine. I was about to crash out there. And lastly, sponges. Oh boy. Now, I might look slightly overprepared for this, but believe it or not, I've actually never raided an ocean monument in this world, so I don't know how this is gonna go. Yo, is that a mushroom island? Okay, we're going to need to remember where that is, because that's going to be useful later. Now, we need to find the big guy. I've also brought, as you can see, a load of doors with me as well, so we can get air pockets going if we need them. Ooh, okay. Let me make a door, and here is our first sponge room. Look at this. 22 sponges right there. This actually might not take as long as oh god, this dude. I think we might have to go higher to find... Oh my god, another sponge room. Look at... I continued going room to room throughout the ocean monument until I eventually had all of the sponges that I need. A stack of these have to be dry sponges, and the best way to do that is to come in here into the nether, place all of these down here, and then we can take them all back up. And that was the end of our multi-stack items. But this soon became a problem in itself. This was only the items above a stack, which barely covered halfway down the list. And at this point, burnout was really starting to hit me. It felt like I've been working non-stop for days and haven't made any progress. I mean, I literally haven't placed my first block yet. And to be honest, at this point in the video, I was considering just not doing the project at all and go do something else entirely. That would mean that all of the work that Taco and I have done so far would be a complete waste. But I had one hope left. So I traveled to a faraway temple to meet a man whose whole style is grinding the game. He's even done a Cyberpunk style video himself. He should know what to do. Mog Swamp, I've come to seek your guidance. What am I gonna do with this project? I'm hitting insane burnout right now and I just don't know what to do.
Okay, listen very closely. I'm only gonna say this once. What you need to do is just finish the build, man. It's not that deep.
Oh, no, yeah, no, you're right. You're right. With this newfound dedication, I had magically found the will to keep going and put the work in. And as the hours ticked by, I finally collected all of the blocks that we need. But that brings us on to stage 3, building. We first need to get this area ready though. So all of this bamboo and these trees need to go. I also quickly want to push this mountain back slightly just so it's not poking out, and that looks pretty much the same. But I'm excited to build this. Let's get started. The first thing we're going to focus on is a bridge coming out to here, which leads into a platform that goes the whole way around the building. So let's grab up some tough blocks, some cyan terracotta, and some mossy cobblestone. I'm going to use a mod called Lightmatica to show me which blocks go where. It's just going to make building a structure this big a lot easier. And then this platform down here at the bottom. Could you imagine if I had to get the netherite for these lodestones? I mean, I would have just used something else, but it's fun to think about. Oh my god, we have somewhere to actually walk now. With all of that out of the way, I now want to turn our attention over to the right side of the build. So let's grab some more blocks from our chest monster over here. This bottom building down here is eventually going to be a fish market. I think that breaking the build up into each individual building is going to make the building process a lot more not horrible, and it's going to make it easier to edit. Editing Ludo, cut to when the room is finished. He said no, didn't he? Motherfucker. We'll come back and do all like the fine details and the decorations and stuff afterwards. For right now, we're just going to focus on the outer shells of the buildings. Behind this garage door is a top secret that only you're allowed to see. Let's see what it is. That was cringy even for me, my bad. I then moved on to building this fishing pier looking thing. Yo, are you seeing this? Why is that bat so chunky? Weird. This pier that we just built actually sits under an entire apartment complex, which looks so cool and feels super compact. Kind of like Cyberpunk. Imagine my surprise. So this took about an hour or so, which is a lot longer than I thought it would. I now need to essentially stack another complex on top of this one, with another tapered building off here to the left. Look at that, you blinked and it was finished. And it only took like half an hour, which is a huge improvement. We are so good at this game. Alright, moving on. Next was this building made out of bamboo and sponges, which is, what's the word? Evil. These block pallets are stuff that I could just never think of using, and I think I'm never speaking to Taco again after this. Like, right above that is a building with an entire wall made of blast furnaces, which does give a really cool effect, actually, so I can't be too mad. This right side is looking really cool so far. But boom, the left side is also done. Definitely didn't spend 4 hours building this entire side up. No. Don't be ridiculous. What's that? You guys want a tour? Yeah, of course. Oh, I missed a block. So over on this side, we have our hell corner, apparently. Over here is where our ramen shop is going to be. Keep that in mind, it's very important. We have, this is Fred the, well, that's Fred. With this really cool design, these chains going around this curved building, which leads up these stairs into another building, which is right around, oh, I'd never put an exit in. It looks really weird with no decorations, but it's gonna look awesome. You gotta have faith in Ludo. And it's around this big, massive, like, parking garage thing. It's also currently day 1297, and we're about this much done. I want you to try and guess what day you think we're gonna finish this entire build on. And stick around to the end of the video to see if you're right. And we have a mushroom house. Alright, moving on. We can now focus on the main tower here in the middle, which is going to be absolutely massive. And at the very top of the tower is where our mending villager is going to live, because he's special. This is mainly going to be made up of our different mangrove blocks and red terracotta. The candles and gates and stuff kind of look like writing on a billboard if you really look at it. Okay, maybe not. I also added in some sick details like these fans and these advertising signs, or whatever you want to call this, with all the shroom lights and end rods and copper bulbs that we put in. This place is going to glow super bright, and it's going to look awesome with shaders. And boom, that's section 1 done. This is a really good idea of how the middle tower is generally going to look. Now we essentially just need to take this and stack it on top of itself a few times to make up our tower, and continue on with the same pattern and block palette for the next section, adding some fans on the front and like an exhaust fan on the side. Section 2 actually goes in slightly, totally an artistic choice, not because I can't count or anything. And while I was explaining that, we got section 2 done, and section 3, 4, 5, and 6. Bro, we're on Y level 289 right now. This thing's nearly at build limit. Oh, but this might actually be the coolest thing I've ever built. Oh man, you can barely see the top of this thing. It's looking kind of weird though. Oh wait, I know. We can just build up some more buildings beside the tower to bulk it up a bit more. I am definitely thinking of this on the spot, and wasn't it all planned way earlier. No. I also really quickly added these support structures made out of blackstone and deep slate. There's still something missing from this. Wait, what if we wrote "It's not Ludo" right down the front? And I know what you're saying. Ludo, isn't that really self-absorbed and narcissistic? You see, the thing is, it's not going to be written with regular letters like a filthy casual. I'm going to write it with enchantment table letters. Or more accurately, the galactic font, because apparently that's a thing. So I'm going to go grab some pearlescent frog lights from our farm. And if I translate "It's not Ludo" to the enchantment table text, it should look something kind of like this. So the first letter looks like 2 letter I's stacked on top of each other. And the letter T is like this L-shaped thing with a dot underneath it. I think you get the point. Let's just quickly build up all of these letters. Oh Yeah, that looks sick. Bro, this whole place is turning out insane. I now want to go around and add some decorations in, like some air vents and these radio tower things with lights on top. Using redstone components as a part of a build is so strange to me, but it looks so cool. I also went back around to the front of some of the buildings and added in some chains to give some more depth. And over on top of the apartment building, I built up what is possibly the most detailed crane I have ever seen, primarily using bamboo blocks and dark oak, which is of course carrying a payload. I then wanted to put in some different colored neon signs around the place. Like we got this orange one, we have this kind of coppery cyan one, we have this pink one over here. They don't look very glowy right now, but when shaders are on, they're gonna add a lot of character to the builds around them. Okay, there's still something I don't like about this middle tower, so I'm just gonna break out some holes here in the front. Something like that should be fine. And I want to build up these slightly way more massive fans. Oh look, this right side looks completely different now. That looks so cool. I now quickly need to grab some more blocks like these turtle eggs and some different blocks from the nether, and let's start building up the fish market down here at the bottom that we were talking about earlier. This is now going to be the first like properly put together build in the city, and I'm so excited. We're gonna of course need some fish tanks in here, so let's mark a couple of them out. And now with all the blocks that I have in my inventory, I'm just gonna go around the room and kind of block vomit and hope it sticks. This is like 90% of my building strategy, by the way, and it low-key works out. So I added in a load of tables for different items to be sold from, some storage for the shopkeeper, and these really cool drying racks where some fresh fish can be sold. And it was essentially the same thing the whole way around the room until we had a fully decorated fish market. They need a way to get their fish though, so I added these little dock walkway looking things in the middle and down the side. I really like the look of this place. It just feels so alive and not like an empty shell, you know? And yes, that is another beacon. I may have gone mad with power. I then made this fish who we're going to call Steven the Second. Don't ask about the first. And built up one of the fishing boats that are used to stock the fish market. Now it's time for arguably the most important building in the entire structure, and that is our ramen shop. I love me some ramen in real life, so why not put it in our city? And it looks something like this. We got a big ramen bowl at the front here so people know what the shop is. We have these really cool seats made from lecterns and trapdoors and stuff. This looks super cool and cozy, you know, like I would eat here. I've been putting this part of the video off pretty much the entire time because I just don't want to do it, and that is working with villagers. If you know anything about working with villagers, you know that you hate it and you want it to die. So I'm going to be clever and I'm going to grab some andesite from in here, and before we even get our villagers, I'm going to mark out like a little pen for them to be in. Look at this beautiful creation. Now we need to go and get some villagers. I only really want my mending villager and like one Fletcher, so the rest of you, I'm sorry. Now, how am I going to get these guys up there? Oh, I have an idea. Come with me. So if I stack up with blocks like this, I'm pretty sure I can make them kind of glide with me. Oh, this works super well. And now we can just leave them on this side and walk them over. This is going super smooth. Too smooth. I don't like it. Villagers aren't supposed to be easy. But let's not think about it though. You can now both get into your little temporary home. I'm going to show you some carrots and stuff for no particular reason, and I'll be back in a bit. Over here though, our interior looks like this. So before we can deck this place out, we need to use one of our beacons with haste 2 and just start going to town on all the stone. And while I'm doing this, if you want to get your grubby little mitts on this build for yourself, it's available on my Patreon, so you can take on the massive project of building this for yourself, or just summon it in. That also works. Either way, I'll have a link in the description if you want to check that out. This will have to do for now, but we can adjust as we go. Wait, do you guys hear that? Kind of sounds like collecting all of the blocks for the interior in a really quickly cut time lapse that will take an absurd amount of time to make. Oh no, maybe I'm hearing things. Oh look, all the blocks are here. God, that took a while. Anyway, let's put a floor down because standing is the best part to an interior. I mean, somewhere to stand is... Let's just put the floor in. There we go, we now have a floor. I pulled a little sneaky and I built this entrance with a little storage area down here while you weren't looking, so that we can move straight onto the good stuff. The idea for this interior is to build a city street within the city, with each villager profession having their own building, and the first building being this brick and granite thing where our masons are going to live. Across the road, I built up this acacia and jungle house. Keep an eye on this diorite door. This is going to be very important later. Apart from that, this building doesn't really have a whole lot going on for it. It's kind of lame. Next door though is where the party is, as this is where our armors are going to be, which we can trade iron for emeralds with. And with our insane iron farm in this world, I feel like iron for emeralds is just a no-brainer. Or maybe that's just because I'm rich. Even though the garage door from earlier is pretty cool because it told you to subscribe, which you totally should, by the way. We are so close to hitting 100k, and it would mean the world to me if you did. Anyway, behind this garage door is an entire workshop where our toolsmiths live. But a workshop wouldn't be a workshop without work to shop on. Wait, does that make sense? Doesn't matter. I built up this flying car in the middle, which turned out so cool because it's not my design. It's Taco's. Oh, look, another building is done. Who's in here? Our clerics, who I forgot to put their workstations down for. Oops. Next door to them is our very overpowered Fletchers, and they get their very own corner building. This kiosk in the dead center of the shopping street is by far the most important though, because this is going to house our librarians, which are super important for every world. Some of these bookshelves are chisel bookshelves, so we can grab some books from in here and fill them in ourselves, which is super cool. I'm eventually going to store enchanted books in here once we have some trading done, but for now, regular books will do the trick. Here's a little look around the completed shopping street. Well, except for this wall right here. Well, we'll come back to that in a minute. I'm about to teach you something that you might not have known. To stop the villagers getting out from their areas here, if I place a honey block down with a carpet on top of it, when the villagers go into their pods, they aren't able to jump and get out. This method is just going to save us having to build individual pods for every single villager. Now, back to the wall. I decided to build up this really cool vault door up against the wall. What's behind the vault door, you ask? I don't know. That's going to be for another video. And now, as cool as our little makeshift villager farm is down here, I think we're going to have to set up a slightly more permanent version. So let's scurry on over to this diorite door that I told you to remember earlier. In this kind of open area down here is where I'm going to set up an actual villager breeder. And dude, there is so much room in this building. It is incredible. Like, we can have so many farms going up here. We can have farms here. And there's so much expansion in the future if we want to add some more villager pods. This build is so cool. All right, let's quickly make up a little villager breeder. And now if I come down to here and I throw one of these in, now I'm going to trade with you to lock you in, and any more takers. And you two can just follow me. You're going to love it here. Trust me, trust me. I want to try something I saw on YouTube earlier with the wind charges. Am I able to like launch myself up? Oh, yes. So the idea is I'm going to add villagers into this farm as I need them, instead of trying to figure out all of the trades that I need right now. So say if I need like a certain mason trade or I need a certain librarian trade, then I'll add them into the farm at a later stage. And now we have 2 Fletchers in. The rest of this is going to be pretty boring. I'd imagine you don't want to see all the villager stuff because it is just putting villagers in pods. What I'm going to do instead is grab a load of this kelp, and we're going to start setting up a really big water elevator that goes the whole way up to the top of the tower. Try and land in the water. It's like the dropper every time we leave. Oh, that's terrifying. You, sir, can get in your boat. There we go. Welcome to your new home, sir. Go. First try. Definitely didn't take like a full 10 minutes to get you in here. No, don't be ridiculous. I'm probably going to deck out this place a little bit more at some stage, but for now, we have our mending villager up here. We also have our villager breeder down there, and we have some villagers in our farm. Dude, this place just looks insane. This is by far the biggest thing that we've done, and I don't know how we're going to top this. It is currently day 1491. Let me know in the comment section if you got it right. I'm just going to come over here and chill out in our little ramen shop, and yeah, that's pretty much it. See you in the next video. Bye.